It's the most wonderful time of the year, y'all. Welcome to the Chris Stevens Writes YouTube channel. As you can see, I've got my Christmas tree in the background. Well, from what you can see of it, wrong way. See, there it is. There's my tree. Looks nice. Yeah, I'll probably put a picture. It'll probably end up being the picture that goes with the thumbnail that usually comes with the intro to the beginning of all my videos. If you have discovered this channel, if you've been to this channel before, but if you're new, and I don't care if you're new, I'm glad you're here. My name is Chris Stevens. I'm a sports writer, novelist, music lover, car nerd, sports fan, cultural critic, dating and sex analyst, because I'm still trying to figure out my own dating and sex life as we speak. But this is just one of the regular episodes. As you can see, I'm in the Christmas mood. I got my dog Snoopy on. Is it Christmas yet? We're almost there. We're almost there. By the time you'll be seeing this, it'll be the day before Christmas Eve, which means Christmas Eve is coming up and Christmas is right there. So welcome aboard. Glad to have you all here. If you are new, I invite you to subscribe and tap that notification bell so you're notified of all the new content that drops on this channel. And if you are a returning lurker or subscriber, don't forget to like and comment on these videos so we can get this algorithm to pop so more eyes and ears can be on this channel. So what am I going to talk about? I mean, Christmas is already, it's here. I mean, I've gotten, I got my tree up. I got my lights going in the window. I never realized how much the lights for Christmas really affect your electric bill. And that's why I respect people who have like these really elaborate light shows hanging outside of their house, because Delmarva Power be charging an arm and a leg as is. So imagine you got the Christmas lights going, you got the deer or Santa in your front yard. The white folks across the street from me, they got this lovely little sort of holographic thing going on with their house. It's real nice. I mean, I love this time of year. I mean, the only thing that's missing is snow, and we have global warming and climate change to thank for that, unfortunately. I don't think I can remember a white Christmas living in Delaware, and I've lived here all my life for the most part. I think we came close when I was living in Southern Maryland back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, but I like to block that time out, even though it was a very important time in my life. I still owe you guys a story about my years in Southern Maryland, which was pretty much hell on earth. But yes, Christmas is here. It's a wonderful time of year. I was wondering what I was going to talk about, and then I was watching another podcast. I think the important thing that is, if you're going to do this podcast thing, you have to be able to watch and listen to other folks and see how their programs go, see how they do things. And one of my favorites to watch and listen to is Jokes on You with Mel and Tally. And this was going to be their last episode for a grip, because unfortunately the studio where they normally record is closing. And, it's a tough time for people trying to, for self-starters and entrepreneurs and all of that. So we got to lift each other up, because with this dude coming in office, this is not going to be any better. It's going to be worse, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I'm watching the YouTube version of that, and Mel and Tally were talking about, it was something about ice cream, because I remember Mel was getting on Tally because she wanted ice cream from Chick-fil-A, and she didn't want to bother the people in line, and she didn't want to bother the the people at the window or whatever. And Mel was like, "Get your blanket ice cream," and Tally was like, "Yeah, I'll get my ice cream." So, and I think for 2025, regardless of where you stand, I think that's a good idea to just ask for more of what you want out of life and in the world. And I don't really, for me personally, 2024 was probably one of the worst years I've had in my life. And granted, it's not all bad. I still am working for HBCU sports. I love that. Like, who coming from an HBCU and loving HBCU sports and still getting to be a sports writer and a sports, personality in some respects, what is there to complain about? I mean, yes, I wish, certain things about, the money in the contract, situation could be a little better, but I still have my apartment, which is the most important thing to me right now. This, just having a roof over my head where it's just me, myself, and I, where I ain't got to worry about anybody else, where I don't have to step around anybody else's mood, and more importantly, nobody has to step around my moods. I can feel how I want to feel within these four walls, because it is just me. And that's a vital thing. That's a very vital thing. But for the most part, this year has been awful. I had a car die on me. Didn't get any help from anybody who said they would help me with that. And I literally had to take a $1,500 scrapper, and I'm still trying to get this thing up to Delaware inspection standards. But I think actually, you know what? I think this is my last temp tag too. So if this thing, if I got to go to the supervisors and tell them, look, I done did everything I was supposed to do. I done replaced brake light switches. I done replaced canister purge valves, brake lights, all of this shit. Just give me the damn tag. I promise within 2 years I'll have something else, because that's my goal. By the end of 2026, beginning of 2027, I want to get something a little more newer and up to code. But honestly, this Chevy Prism, it don't run that damn bad. I mean, it's actually, I've been to Philly twice in it. I went to go see Stevie Wonder, and this past weekend, my Christmas gift to myself, my real Christmas gift to myself, was a Volkswagen exhibit at the Simeon the Simeon Foundation Automotive Museum in South Philly. So I've taken this car to Philly twice in a span of 2.5 months, and it has not failed me yet. So, it's not that bad. It's not that bad of a car. It's a commuter car. At 65 to 70, it does start to rattle on the freeway, and that makes me nervous because, as you guys know, I hate I-95 with a passion. So anybody and you can't go but so slow on 95. You got to be 55 to 67, 68 is the sweet spot. But if your shit is rattling to 65 or 70, then yeah, you got a little bit of an issue there. It's just an it's a 25-year-old car that's meant to get around town. And that's what I needed, because I was just tired of asking other people for rides and, being at the mercy of other people. So I spent $1,500 on that, and that's what we have at this point. But I think I'll save the dating stuff for the overnight scenario, because what I think I'm going to do with the overnight scenario is later on this week, I'm going to do an episode where I talk about, what went wrong this year from a dating perspective, what went wrong, what I hope to correct in 2025 and all of that stuff. But I think the biggest thing that I'm really worried about is my weight is starting to creep back up. And I know why that is, because I just did not have the time to get to the gym and, go on my usual walking and running trails, because I didn't have a car for 7 months. Well, 6.5 technically, because the car, the Altima kicked the bucket on January 23rd. I picked up this Chevy Prism on August. It was the first week of August. I know that much. So yeah, basically 6.5 months. I spent 6.5 months without a car. So I was in this house. I was in this 4 walls. I did get, to borrow cars to go to, my journalism assignments and all of that. But most of the time I was in the house. So I think for me, 2025 is just leaving these 4 walls, so I'm not tempted to eat everything in sight. It's going to be the key, and still being able to work out and different things of that nature. You guys are probably looking at this video talking about, Chris, you look fine. You don't, you probably can't tell. But for me, I know, this shirt has a little less room in it than I would like. The scale doesn't lie either. And, so I think that's probably something that I need to address. And it's probably something that I need to address when I lost all the weight the first time around. It's tying my self-worth to a number and how I look, because it's so funny. Because when I lost all that weight the first time, I was down to 218 pounds at one point. Your boy was skinny. Like literally, I didn't realize how thin I was. Because this was pandemic 2021. Because I asked, because we were doing the high school basketball championships down in Dover High School here in Delaware. And I asked my photographer homeboy, I was like, yo, can you take a picture of me for the end of the season? Like a little peace out thing or whatever. He was like, yeah. So he took 2 good pictures of me. I had my mask on, but when I look back at that picture, dog, I did not realize I had gotten that damn small. I was like, oh shit, who is that guy? And it was just like, yeah, I did that. But, I think I got comfortable. And then, once I figured out, and then once I moved, I was in my own home. So, I could fool around in the kitchen whenever I wanted, eat as much as I wanted. And then, it's starting to creep back up. I'm starting to get back into that 270, 280 range. And that for me is too close to the depression zone, because I feel like being 300 pounds is unhealthy. And also I feel like it's unattractive, which is weird, but because there are guys of bigger sizes who, still make out okay in the dating department. And that's something that, again, I need to come to grips with, that, I can lose the weight, I can stay, on at a certain level and be healthy and do all of this and do that, but it still hasn't had that much effect on my dating and romance prospects, which are absolutely nil at this point. And that is kind of like, where I have to reach the point of saying, okay, you know, it's not the weight. Maybe it never was the weight. Maybe, I mean, yeah, you still, I mean, you still want to do this for yourself. You still want to feel better about yourself, but you can't rely on that to make women interested in you. And so that's something that, you're probably just going to have to, you know, commit to figuring out, whether it's through therapy, whether it's through journaling or something, because not getting any younger. And I know I've talked about it ad nauseum that, the whole phase part of my life is something that I still wish I had, but it's not, it's not happening. I mean, even when I was 215, 200, 218, 220 pounds, I was not doing well. And now that I'm back up in the 275, 280 range, it's like, okay, now I'm starting to feel like shit again. And then of course, once you're in that mode, you don't want to be bothered with anybody. No matter how you feel like, you want to, you really don't, because you feel like nobody's going to like you at that size. Nobody's going to like you if you're heavy or super heavy. Nobody's going to like you, you know, if you can see the weight gain in your face, and if you can see it, then other people can obviously see it. So it's a lot. I mean, but yeah, going back, I mean, this really kind of U-turned, but let me put this back on the road, because like I said, I was watching Jokes on You, and they were talking about, just committing to living your life. And that's something that I want to work harder at in 2025. Like, I think the two biggest things I did this year was the Stevie concert and the auto show this past weekend. I think I'm going to do a short little video about that, because I did take my good camera. So I took some video, I took some pictures. That's going to be a fun little video. I think you guys will enjoy it. But, just being able to just do small things for myself that, might scare me a little bit, like getting on I-95 to go to Philly. And these two trips were in the South Philly. We ain't even talking about Center City, like, for crying out loud, Breakwater's doing a show at the World Cafe on January 4th. And I know I'm not going to go, because I ain't driving, on 95 all the way into Center City. I can't. It's just not something I can do. And, solo anyway, which is funny, because I did go to it's so funny, because shouts out to my guys, Roy Burton and Chris Domingo from the Broad Street Line, when we went to see Tuxedo before the pandemic hit. And I forget where that was. It was at the Fillmore. So I had to drive into the city. I had to drive deep into I-95 and into the city to get to the Fillmore. And I did that solo. And I'm one of those people. I mean, I had my Honda CRV then, so I was a little higher up. I could see a lot more. But this little Chevy Prism, I mean, it's literally a go-kart. It's a street legal go-kart, basically. It's small, it's compact, it's low to the ground. And for a guy who can freak out about the thing of heights and I-95, it's like, shit. But we did it anyway. Like, when I went to go see Stevie, did it anyway. Had a great time. And want to do more of that. I just want to be, have more fun, even if this dating and romance part of my life is just absolute garbage at this point. And like I said, I'll get more in depth into that on the overnight scenario. But as far as, everything else, I still missed out on publishing my Christmas romance. I think I don't want to say I have to let it go, but I think I'm going to try to have to come to a point where it strikes me enough to where I can publish it, write it and be good with it. But I still want to get back into the creative writing. Like, the last thing I wrote was a surprise New Year's Eve, short story. I even forgot the name of it, which is crazy, because I wrote it and published it. Party Favors. God darn. Yeah, Party Favors. Yeah, I wrote Party Favors, and I enjoyed that, because it was a quick, short, to the point thing. I mean, it's New Year's Eve. Two people meet, they feel on each other at a party. There might be a little bit of, angst there, but they clear it up. They end up having sex. It's a good time. So yeah, I'll put the link to Party Favors. I actually put the link to my last Christmas based story, Christmas and Chill. I'll put the links to those two in the description below if you guys want to check out my writing. My books are usually only, in e-format, so you have to have a Kindle or an e-reader to get them, but they're only 99 cents on Amazon. I make my books 99 cents on purpose because I don't think that I can charge, what some of my writer friends do, because my writer friends, the people that I've, you know, met in the writing space, the indie writers, they are way more talented than I am. And that's not me putting myself down. I'm just saying these people are incredibly gifted. Like they've been doing this longer. Like I'm still like I've been doing like damn, my 10-year anniversary passed and I totally forgot about it. I first published on August 5th, 2014, and I totally forgot about it. So yeah, I'll probably end up doing a creative writing episode at some point, and then hopefully start getting back into writing novels again, because that's something I want to do. Whether it be romance or coming of age or family or something, I got to get back to it because that's something I really enjoy doing. So yeah, that's something else. And I do want to tap into more of the musical side of myself, with the reviews and different things. Like the reviews are something that people have come to enjoy on this channel, and I'm flattered. Like the most interesting thing, because I'm one of those people that's always, I'm a stat conscious nerd. I'm a stat geek. I'm always worried about the numbers. So I'm always checking the views on the videos, and the Jacques Fred Patris video that I did back in back in June is starting to grow very, very rapidly, which I find stunning, to be honest with you. I mean, it's still, on the low side of the views, but it's still one of those things that pops up, when that, when people are watching every 48 hours, every 2 weeks, every 28 days or whatever. And it's just like, okay, so people really like that one. So I'll stick with doing stuff like that. So yeah, I want to do more written reviews. I want to do more. I think I'm going to do a music episode before this year is out. So hold me to that. And I think 2025 is just going to be a point where I get back to where I was before 2023, honestly, because 2023 started off shitty. Before this podcast even came into, this iteration of what I do came into being. I got fired from the highest paying job I'd ever had in February. And it was, it was just a shitty experience that I went into a little bit of detail before prior. I still may just do it a whole entire episode about how, that really pissed me off. But, and I took a serious pay cut to, stay in journalism. But I don't mind it because I can still keep a roof over my head. I can still keep food in my mouth and, do the bare minimum. But I mean, the bare minimum at this stage of my life, I still want more. So, if I have to start, working harder at creating something for myself while I'm still doing HBCU sports and other things, then that's what I have to do. And that's what I plan to do. But overall, my friendships have suffered. My family situation, I don't know what to make of it. Like I'm just so used to being sort of left out of things, sort of being like, nobody caring about what I'm dealing with or going through, that I just suffer in silence, that I just don't really feel the need to reach out to people because who's going to listen? Who cares? And I think that's why I want to get back into therapy, because I want to be able to have someone to talk to, because I have no one to talk to at this point in my life. And, I don't want to have that, spill over here. Like I want this to be fun. I want this to be a blast. And, I went and bought notebooks around my birthday because I said I was going to start journaling more. I think I've gotten a few entries in, but I need to get a few more in. And I think I'm going to try to get back into therapy in 2025 somehow. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what I'm going to have to cut or what I'm going to have to work harder at making money at so I can get into therapy again. But I need it because I'm suffering. And I think the only reason I'm feeling comfortable saying this, because somebody else could be suffering too. And everybody's, you'll probably come to this channel and be like, yo, Chris is smiling and joking all the time. You could just tell in his voice that, he has a zest for this. And I do. But when I'm not recording, when I'm not writing, I literally sit in this apartment in quiet and silence most of the day. And I have cable and I love music. It's just hard for me to just turn on Spotify sometimes. It's hard for me to just turn on the TV. Like I just be sitting here some days just like, and that's not a way to live. And that's why I feel like, and Mel said this to Tally, that this is Tally's ministry. And I 100% agree. Like that woman has a gift for expressing things in a way that, and I know it's usually for women and, they're LGBTQ folks, but I mean, a straight guy like myself, I mean, it's something you can get into as well. And, you find yourself existing instead of living. And honestly, I've done way too much of that, single or not. And I just need to get back to doing things that I love to do and, working out more regularly so I can stay below 300. I mean, I'm not that close, but I'm still stressed out about it enough to the point where it's like, okay, now it's time to get back down to business. I got to get, but I mean, it just has not been a great year, and it is not. But the good news is, as long as you are allowed to get up and see the next day, something new can happen, something different can happen. And that's something I try to keep in mind, even though I end up usually, again, just sitting in silence. Like, I think for the most, I think what I'm going to do is, I'm still going to do a vision board, but I am also going to give myself guidelines of things and give myself homework assignments that I need to do throughout the course of a day, throughout the course of a week, throughout the course of a month, and see if I can complete those assignments and ace them as well. So hold me to this. If you're watching this podcast, remember what I said. I'm going to give myself homework assignments, things that I can check off each day, each week, each month, and look back on them at the month and make sure that I got all of this stuff done and I made something good happen. So if you are a devoted listener of this podcast, hold me to it somehow. I mean, all my social media stuff is in the content in the description anyway. So yeah, but overall, I'm just ready. I'm ready for 2024 to be. I mean, 2025 is not going to be better because, I mean, look at the condition of the world that we are going to be entering. It's not going to be any better from a world standpoint, but you still, for the time being, have control of your personal world for now. So until anything different happens, you can still, start doing things to make yourself a little, feel differently about yourself. And that's something I plan to do. I just, and that's why I'm going to enjoy this Christmas. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to do for Christmas Day. I honestly may just stay home. You know, I might not go out to anybody's house. I may just stay here, watch football, watch basketball, watch my favorite Christmas movies, listen to my favorite Christmas songs, and just regroup because I need to regroup and then get ready for 2025. Try to do what I can in those circumstances. But I'm still, I still love Christmas. And that's something I wanted to, kind of, get out of here with. I talked about this on HBCU Sports, because Kendrick Marshall, our editor, asked if Christmas hits the same. And we all agree as adults, it's totally different. I mean, we got bills, we got responsibilities. Some folks have relationships, you lucky dogs. All this other stuff that you can, that kind of takes away from your sense of that inner child. And you got to feed that inner child. You can't let that inner child just wither away. You have to feed and nurture that inner child so the whole you can live and prosper. Like, this is some of the stuff, like Snoopy's my guy, has been forever. And, it's just, what what's funny about this? I thought the batteries were dead. Then when I found out I wasn't pushing the right button because I didn't pay attention. See, my mom always said, if you can read and follow instructions, you can do anything. But I forgot that this hand actually means something. So stuff like that, man. You just gotta, find a way to tap into that inner child and live and enjoy and prosper and live this life the best way you can, because you never know when it's going to end. You gotta take every day as a gift. And that's something that I need to do more of. And that's what I plan to do. So thank y'all for watching the Christmas edition. I mean, it sounded kind of dark, but you know, it's something that I had to get off my chest, and I'm glad I did. But yeah, I'm gonna, try to hold more of this stuff to journaling and finding a therapist in 2025, so I can be my best self on this channel. I still feel like I'm on my best self on this channel. I'm still, giving you guys, some comedic content and some good, talk every once in a while. But I just, you know, want to do better for me. And 2024 was not one of those years, but hopefully 2025 will be better. We'll see what happens. But thank y'all for watching. Greatly appreciate your time as always. Contact information will be in the description below. Don't forget to like these videos and comment on them and subscribe and tap the notification bell so you can be notified of all the new content that drops on this channel. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. If you have loved ones that you're still, very much in tune with, spend the time with them, cherish them, share some stories, learn some stuff, enjoy the food, enjoy the friendship, enjoy the camaraderie. If you're kind of lonely this season, like myself, you just, find something that, just find things that nurture your spirit and fill you up and make you whole, because you have to be good to yourself before you're good to anybody else. So that makes sense. So please enjoy Christmas and the holiday season. This won't be the last time y'all hear from me before the year's out, trust me. So, but yes, enjoy Christmas. Until next time we speak, y'all be good or be good at it. Merry Christmas.